Ever since Master Roshi first used the Kamehameha Wave, Ki has been a massive part of the Dragon Ball franchise. Also known as energy and chi, this mysterious force is what allows for the crazy battles, feats of strength, and signature attacks that make the series so great. Without Ki, Dragon Ball simply wouldn't be what we know it as today. But what exactly is Ki? Well, we've got a crash course about it for you right here, right now. So what is Ki? To put it simply, Ki is the energy within every living being, the life force that when pulled out can be used for a number of different techniques. The spirit energy within each person is different depending on how much they trained or sometimes how naturally inclined towards great power their species is. As with aliens like the Saiyans and the Namekians. However, no matter a person's energy level, the first step to utilizing Ki is learning how to draw it out. Something that only warriors trained by great masters learn to do. Well, unless you're Frieza. In the world of Dragon Ball, it has never been made clear when Ki was first discovered or what species in the vast universe of the franchise was the first to utilize it in battle. What we do know, however, is that Ki, specifically Ki attacks, were first introduced in Dragon Ball, specifically in the 8th episode of the series where Master Roshi first used the Kamehameha Wave. From then on, Ki attacks became a prominent part of the franchise, with the terms Ki and energy making their way into the vernacular of Dragon Ball and the Piccolo Jr. saga. As Dragon Ball transitioned into Dragon Ball Z, the fights of the series became more and more focused on utilizing Ki. Sure, Ki has been utilized ever since Goku and Krillin became superhuman martial artists in the Tournament saga since it increased their strength, but it wasn't until the Piccolo Jr. saga and the first saga of Dragon Ball Z that Ki was the focus of battles. From then on, Ki and energy equaled power, and the more energy someone had, the more powerful and capable of an opponent they were. How exactly is this the case? Well, let's dig a bit deeper to find out. Every Dragon Ball Z fan knows the now infamous line uttered by Vegeta when he learns just how strong Goku is using his scouter, saying it's over 9,000! Of course, these days we know this wasn't the original number in the Japanese version, but the line still provides a great introduction into the concept of battle power in relation to Ki. Simply put, Ki and battle power are more or less the same thing. Less simply put, the energy that an individual is capable of producing and drawing out from within determines how much their natural strength, speed, and durability is augmented. Meaning, if a warrior has normal human strength, speed, and durability, they can push these assets to superhuman levels by adding their life force to it. Additionally, by increasing the amount of energy that their body has, they can further augment that power. This is the basics of how Ki is utilized in the world of Dragon Ball. Fighters like Goku have natural strength and power that they have pushed to great levels by increasing the energy they have within them. Perhaps the best visualization of this concept is Super Saiyan 3rd Grade, a Super Saiyan transformation that used Ki to inflate the user's muscles, which is a perfect example that shows how energy can be used to increase strength. Augmenting physical strength isn't the only way that energy contributes to a warrior's power though, since it can also be used to increase their durability, boost speed, give them the power of flight, and be utilized in a whole mess of different blast-based attacks. This is why a warrior with high battle power, massive Ki, or strong energy is seen as a threat in a fight. They have a massive stock of energy to draw from to increase their power and to fight longer with. Now that we've covered the basics of Ki and how it translates into battle power, the next aspect of energy to cover when breaking down the concept is the different types of Ki that have been featured throughout the Dragon Ball franchise. The main type of Ki in Dragon Ball is good or regular Ki, the energy that is within all the good guys of the series. This is the power that Goku, Krillin, Master Roshi, and many others have, as they have always been and always will be on the side of good. Warriors of justice who will stop any evil foe attempting to hurt others. As such, their energy is good, and in the case of Goku and other warriors with fully pure hearts, this good energy allows them to do things like ride the flying Nimbus and produce spirit bombs. Those without good Ki have evil Ki, energy that exists in the hearts of evil and malicious people, meaning villains. King Piccolo had evil Ki, as did Piccolo Jr., and it was this evil energy that led the souls of their victims to be left in purgatory. However, as Piccolo Jr. became a good guy, his evil Ki turned into good Ki, something that also happened as Vegeta transitioned from a villain into an anti-hero to a good guy. The third major type of Ki is godly Ki, also referred to as divine Ki, which was first introduced in Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods, and Dragon Ball Super. From what we can tell, godly Ki is a type of Ki that all deities have. but Goku and Vegeta eventually gained access to it as well. It's a lot stronger in smaller doses because it's more potent. And that about covers all the types of ki. Now let's look at how these types manifest themselves. Outside of ki blasts, which we'll get into in a minute, the ki aura is perhaps the most recognizable aspect of energy in Dragon Ball. Of course, we're referring to the glow-around warriors that shows up whenever they power up, transform, or show off their energy. These auras are a major part of ki in Dragon Ball, as they reflect the type of energy that the warrior has within them or the type of energy they're utilizing at the time. The most common type of aura is white, an aura that reflects good or regular ki, the power of the good guys of the Dragon Ball franchise. More malicious and villainous types tend to have red or purple auras that reflect their evil hearts. Transformations also tend to change the auras of warriors, as seen when Goku's aura turns red while using the Kaioken, when Saiyan's aura becomes yellow and more prominent after going Super Saiyan, and when Frieza's aura becomes gold and fiery upon transforming into Golden Frieza. In Dragon Ball Super, auras became more refined in their role of displaying the power of a warrior. For example, we could tell the difference between normal, mortal ki, and godly ki based on how the auras were rendered. Mortals have 2D auras, and gods have 3D generated ones. Thus, when Goku is a normal Super Saiyan, he has a 2D aura. The same for Krillin and other humans generating an aura. However, when Goku goes Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, he has a 3D generated aura, one similar in design to that of Beerus and other gods of destruction. Additionally, those with massive power in the Tournament of Power were shown to have auras different from the norm, like Goku's Ultra Instinct forms and Jiren's god-surpassing energy levels. And now we get to the fun stuff, ki attacks. Any kind of blast or energy-based attack outside of augmented strength are the bread and butter of the Dragon Ball franchise. Though it took some time for ki attacks to become the norm of the series, they've been a part of Dragon Ball since Master Roshi first fired off that original Kamehameha. More ki attacks were introduced in the King Piccolo saga, and in the Piccolo Jr. saga it was made clear that battles were going to be a lot different going forward. This basic concept of ki attacks is similar to augmenting one's strength, since power is drawn from within and manifested outside the body. From there, it's up to the warrior to turn that energy into an attack. The most basic kind of ki attack is a simple blast, which is any small, quick ball of energy that's launched from a warrior's hands. Amp things up a bit and you have attacks like the Kamehameha or the Gallic Gun, which are longer-lasting beams of energy that release ki in a larger form. Other examples of this are the Masenko and the Special Beam Cannon. But ki attacks aren't just limited to blasts of energy. There are also some wild cards that get thrown into the mix. One such example is Krillin's Destructo Disc, which flattens and spins a ball of energy until it's a spinning blade of destruction that's not easily dodged or parried. Another example is the various types of self-destruction in Dragon Ball, all of which utilize the concept of drawing forth and detonating all of the energy within one's body, as seen when Vegeta used his final explosion. There are a lot of ways that ki is utilized for attacks in the world of Dragon Ball. Ki is used to enhance strength and create awesome attacks. But amidst these flashy and showy aspects of ki usage, there's another important pillar in any good warrior's arsenal: defense. As we mentioned before, drawing upon one's inner energy can augment durability as well as strength and speed. By using ki as a shield, a warrior can take on much more damage than the average person. Though this aspect of ki usage wasn't explained for quite some time and has still not been officially stated in Dragon Ball, the basic concept of ki defense is as follows. By drawing out power from within, ki acts as a guard that can be let down and leave the warrior vulnerable. Additionally, the more energy someone is able to draw out, the greater their defense will be. This technique is pretty standard amongst the warriors of Dragon Ball, and unless a fighter has immense natural biological durability or the power to regenerate and heal from any injury, you can assume that they're utilizing an energy shield. The best confirmation we got of the idea of the ki shield defense came in Resurrection F, and the Dragon Ball Super saga that adapted it, where we saw Goku drop his guard and get taken out by a simple laser. Yeah, the all-powerful Goku couldn't handle a teensy-tiny laser beam. A moment that had fans both angry and curious. But by looking back at the series and understanding how power growth and ki control works, it's not hard to see that ki defense is an actively controlled technique, meaning a warrior has to keep their ki shield up in order to avoid damage. However, even then, an opponent who can generate enough power can break a shield and cause damage to the fighter. Almost as important as defense is the ability to sense the energy of others. This concept was initially introduced in the King Piccolo saga and became a large part of the franchise in Dragon Ball Z, eventually evolving into the main method of tracking and locating others and gauging the power level of opponents. There are countless examples of sensing ki in the Dragon Ball franchise, and as such, it's one of the most important aspects of ki usage. Ki sense has been used by almost every warrior in the franchise, save for those who still rely on scouters and other technology. In fact, ki sense is actually much more reliable than scouters, since those things are pretty infamous for blowing up while attached to their users' faces. The ability to know when a powerful opponent has shown up, when they have taken out other energy signatures in the area, or just how strong their power is are all useful tools for any warrior of the Dragon Ball universe. These abilities have allowed Goku and the Z Fighters to locate opponents, know just what kind of enemy they're facing or if they should even face them at all, and to know if the Earth is in danger. Sensing ki is also what allows Goku to use his instant transmission, since each person has a unique ki signature that serves as a means of tracking and locating specific people. Additionally, the ability to sense ki also plays a role in knowing when an opponent is sneaking up on someone, acting as a sixth sense that creates a whole slew of advantages in battle. Any way you look at it, the ability to feel and sense the energy of others has served the warriors of Dragon Ball well, and the series wouldn't be the same without it. None of the previously mentioned usages of ki can be accomplished without proper ki control. Ki control is the basis of all energy-based techniques, from flight to blasts and everything in between. Why do we say this? Well, think back to when we mentioned that the basic concept of energy is that a fighter draws out their life force from within in order to augment their physical attributes and abilities and perform specialty attacks. That right there is ki control, the ability to draw out power and utilize it. Without the ability to control the energy within them, a warrior can't properly utilize their ki for flying, defense, blasts, and pretty much every energy-based technique. A great example of this comes from Gohan's flying lessons with Videl. Before she could use her energy to fly, she had to learn how to draw it out and control it. Ki control even has some advanced steps that can aid a fighter in battle. Namely, there's the ability to suppress and control the amount of power that one draws out or makes sensible. This technique was prominently utilized in the Namek Saga by Gohan and Krillin, who wanted to hide their presence by using as little energy as possible. It can also be used to lure opponents into a false sense of security by making their power level seem lower than it is. The next part of this advanced step is complete, perfected ki control, which Whis aim to teach Goku and Vegeta. Perfect ki control means that a fighter doesn't let any of their energy leak out, stopping their ki reserves from draining faster and preventing opponents from sensing them. Not everyone is capable of these advanced aspects of ki, but a moderate amount of control is necessary for all energy techniques in Dragon Ball. When talking about ki sense and ki control, we mentioned two methods of travel: instant transmission and flight. Both of these techniques require the understanding and utilization of inner energy to use, but once these steps are mastered, ki can become a powerful tool of travel. Let's start with the more common and simpler method of ki-based travel: flight. Flying was first introduced in the Ten Shinhan Saga, as the titular antagonist was a master of the Crane School's flight technique. Eventually, other fighters in the world of Dragon Ball began to use the flight technique, and eventually it was the main method of travel and a way of advancing battle. As for how flying works and how energy is used to accomplish it, we can again turn to Videl's flight lessons with Gohan. During these training sessions, we learned that flight is achieved by gathering energy from within and pushing it underneath oneself in order to float. Additional flight control comes with further training and ki understanding. Seeing as Videl was able to master it, we know that flight doesn't take a large amount of energy to use. But beyond this, we don't know much about the specifics of ki-based flight. Now onto another form of energy-based travel: instant transmission. Instant transmission is a Yardrat-based technique that uses ki sensing and control to teleport a person from one location to the location of a ki signature they focused on. This is another technique that we don't exactly know the specifics of, meaning how Goku actually teleports, but we do know that it takes great ki control and mastery of ki sense in order to use it to its fullest. Additionally, instant transmission is an example of how useful learning to control and sense ki can be, especially to travel and move in battle. The final piece of the ki puzzle to cover when dissecting and explaining all aspects of energy in Dragon Ball is transformations. It's a big topic to cover, so we're going to discuss how it pertains to energy. Transformations are a big part of Dragon Ball, ever since Goku's first Great Ape transformation in the original series. From then on, transforming became more and more prominent. The most well-known transformation being, of course, Super Saiyan, which is a great example of how transformations pertain to energy. The Super Saiyan transformation is triggered by a combination of powerful emotion and ki control, and once a Saiyan transforms, their super form multiplies the energy within their body temporarily, increasing the physical attributes and abilities that are augmented by ki. Further Super Saiyan transformations increase this multiplier, increasing a Saiyan's strength, speed, durability, and power even more. However, not all transformations are like this, since Frieza's various forms are meant to do the opposite of a Super Saiyan transformation. By this, we're of course referring to the fact that Frieza's first, second, and third forms are meant to suppress his power so that it's reserved for greater battles. Cell is also a unique case, as his transformations increase his power but are not achieved through ki control. Instead, it's through the absorption of other beings, Buu's transformations being somewhat similar. The type of ki a warrior has can also change through transformations. For example, when Goku and Vegeta go Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, they obtain godly ki, which is, as mentioned previously, far more potent than normal ki. There are many more transformations that affect or use ki, but you get the idea. It's a big part of form changes and many other techniques in Dragon Ball, serving as the basis for most battles in the franchise. And that's all there is to know about ki, the control of it, and the techniques that utilize it. What'd you think? Did you learn anything new from this video? Did we leave anything out? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Dragon Ball videos. Thanks for watching!